Hello and welcome to LOP Radio Aftershock for Dominion 2020 for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Everything is evil. I'm sorry. Hopefully the YouTube delay wasn't so bad that you saw me just staring. Just like that. Just doing nothing for a little minute. So hopefully it wasn't that bad. And because on my preview, I've clicked go live and I was bloody staring at myself for ages. So that was bloody great. Anyway. So today, New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's a lovely Sunday morning. The sun is out. I've got to turn my light on because my house is still relatively dark thanks to the scaffolding right outside my window. Yeah, lovely day. Anyway, New Japan Pro Wrestling. What have we just witnessed? Right, trying to wrap my head around that. The way I format these shows is I'll talk about the main event first, get everything that happened at the end out of the way before kind of go through the rest of it. But, well, that's a lot to unpack. That's just happened in the main event. So, first off, got a new double champion. Second off, we've got Dick Togo, now an absolutely legendary wrestler, or I guess veteran wrestler. And the fact he's in New Japan is like, wait, what? That's massive. And I've heard, Chris Charlton was saying he got ties to Gedo and Jado. I was like, I don't know him for that. I know him for other stuff. But the fact that he's now with Evil, that's, as soon as I saw that, I was like, that's an amazing pairing. Evil with Dick Togo. That's an amazing pairing. So, secondly, Naito down. Yeah, we've set up Hiromu Evil, like the fallout of the other LIJ members, kind of the emotional impact of that. It went off air with Hiromu screaming. So, just a pure emotional agony. That was a sight. And Stephanie Chase on Twitter's got an amazing collection of photos of Hiromu screaming. Yes, in the chat. Shock for Dick Togo. that just so caught me off guard. Like when Bushi came out, obviously I'm like, Bushi's looking a bit buff with his absolutely massive muscles. And I'll be honest, I was thinking it's probably someone like Gedo or somebody from the Bullet Club that I'm just forgetting about. That's what I was thinking. I wasn't expecting Dick Togo, to be perfectly honest. I was like, sometimes in New Japan, I'm a bit like, I don't always get the kind of reaction that they're looking for because maybe I've not heard of the person. But Dick Togo, that's a massive one. So that caught me off guard. That did. But yeah, so seeing that pairing is just fantastic. But as soon as the guy came out in the Bushi mask and started choking him, you just heard from the crowd. This is like, well, it's clearly not Bushi, so who is it? And they waited till after the match for the reveal. In the end, it was done really, really well. Because, of course, during the match, you're like, what's going to happen? And just seeing that happen. Where we choked out Naito at the end before Evil stomped him on the dick. And then, I said Naito, I meant Evil stomped Naito on the dick. And then Evil goes for the Everything is Evil STO for the win, just like he did against Okada. But this time, not only was it somebody choking out Naito, it was Dick flipping Togo. So yeah, again, if you don't know who he is, just search him up. Watch a lot of his matches. You'll understand why he's so highly regarded, and the fact that he's now paired with Evil. It's for me a genius move. Like, I'm as hyped for that pairing as I am of, like, it's weird. I feel like I should be talking about the fact that Evil has knocked off Naito. We've got a new double champion. And that's a massive moment, especially after Naito's rise was over such a long period of time. And now we've immediately got Evil. It's like it's just caught me off. Yeah, that caught me off guard. But I'm more excited for the Evil Togo pairing. Like, seriously, it's such a great pairing that I was seriously surprised by it. And I can't wait. I'm energised. I'm full of energy for that. But I guess I could go on about this for ages. as it's gonna. We've got a long enough card as it is for stuff to go through, so I'll actually go through the match now. But I just want to get that across. The Dick Togo pairing with Evil, just all the thumbs up for that. It's just an amazing decision, and I can't wait to see it play out. The interview backstage as well, just seeing the dynamic of the two, and kind of hearing Evil for the first time, like properly as double champion with all the cockiness and the ego attached to it as well. Togo also he kind of elaborated on some of Evil's words as well. So that was great to see. So the match itself, we'll start with the main event. And if anyone wants to send in any comments or things, I'll just get through this and then blast through those. So the main event for the IWGP and Intercontinental Championships, or IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championships, Testsuya Naito versus New Japan Cup winner Evil. The new Bullet Club lad controlled the early going, really establishing this new persona as he's turned his back on everything that previously made him. Even Milano, just my Twitter feed when he Irish whipped Milano into the barricade was just Milano, no, just the entire time, like 5 minutes straight was just people catching up and getting to that moment. I was the same. It was just Milano with like 5 or 6 O's, just like, no, Evil. There's no coming back from this. As he sent his heartbroken #1 fan flying into the barricade. Like, how dare you? But he controlled the match, and then when that happened, it's just like immediately everyone on Twitter's like, no, there's no coming back from that. You are officially a bad guy now. Naito was on the receiving end of a lot of the offense. For like 10 minutes straight, it was all Evil. Wearing down the champion and taunting the crowd with his evilness. Like, the Tranquilo one took a lot of it. Like, never really overexerting himself in that early part, and finally growing more and more into the match as time went on. Like, in spite of everything, managing to show why he's champion, and for the most part, wrestling smartly, conserving that energy for the latter half, in a way. Whilst, if anything, Evil might have been too evil. Like, later in the match, Naito was able to get back into the match, and you'll see why later. The setting up a table at ringside and attempting to put his former stable leader through it. Naito himself caught on and moved the thing. But the curse, if you listen to any of my former shows or watch any of the former videos, the curse of if you set it up, you go through. Evil counted on the apron and Naito crashing knee first through the table, and like a gash on his back as he just managed to hop back into the ring, and Evil just gesturing at the referee. He's like, count faster, you prick. It's just, oh yeah. That table spot, that got, for some reason I was like, oh, maybe he'll lift him and he'll do like a back bump, or maybe Evil will go kind of through him and cushion the blow a bit. Nah, this is New Japan. Stop thinking like America. Stop thinking like America, imp. New Japan, no, he's going knee first with no protection. I was just like, oh shit. Just, and there goes the monetization because I've just sworn. I keep forgetting. It's New Japan. Again, I cover Raw and NXT and now and then SmackDown in column form for Lords of Pain, and yet I've always said New Japan is my #1 thing. So when I'm covering New Japan, I'm a total fanboy. Like, New Japan are my #1 promotion. You're not going to get much moaning or critique from me because I just enjoy it. It's totally my thing. So yeah, beware for a positive podcast. Like, especially if you're used to me covering #1 Late Raw. Like, yeah, this is going to be full on of like positivity throughout. But yeah, just through that table, just like, oh damn, that looked painful. And Evil then zoned in on the weak point, like talking and stomping on the knee, before going in for the kill with his big moves, with the tactic of whenever Naito would try to counter, he could just kick him in the knee. The running lariat, darkness falls, and neither were enough. Like, Evil then goes for the STO, but Naito's not enough out of it. The knee kick didn't even discourage him enough. The champion continuing to fight out, finally able to wriggle out and hit a reverse Destino of sorts, flipping over forwards for a faceplant. That's got a name for it. The commentator shouted it, but I was busy typing, so I missed it. The way of the Tranquilo then came into play in the second half of the match. Like, as soon as he countered out of Evil's big moves, you're ready. Second half of the match, here we go. And like, Naito was awake. The way of the Tranquilo would come into play. Hitting signature move after signature move of Naito's, from the spinning DDT to Gloria to the running Destino. He hit them all. Evil survived them all. To be fair, all the big opponents will have to get through those moves to defeat Naito. So it's like a kind of proving moment of sorts. It's like, if you can't get through this list of moves from Naito, then you don't deserve to be champion. And Evil got through all of them, kicking out one after the other. The only thing left is to properly wind up and hit the Destino. Because that's the thing with Naito. If he hits any variant of the Destino, especially against a big opponent in a main event match, he's not going to win. But if he winds up properly and he spins around with all of the torque, more likely than not, if his name's not Okada, he's going to be pinned. And Evil was able to fight off that final Destino blow, never really able to wind up and hit it, only able to hit variants. But the Bullet Club horn was sounded. You're waiting for it in a Bullet Club match. That moment when something happens to the referee and just his referee's taken out, and suddenly, like, yes, the Bullet Club lads, they're coming. We've just got to wait for them. And Evil reversing a whip, sending Naito flying into Red Shoes, who for some reason was positioned right up against the exposed turnbuckle. Damn it, Umino! Taiji Ishimori and Jado were the two to answer the Bullet Club call, but only hit one thing before Hiromu saves the day. He goddamn launched Ishimori in with a German into the corner. That was awesome. Before brawling them out into the crowd and away from the arena. 1-on-1. And now Evil's got a chair, and this time Umino is not there to stop him. Because earlier in the match, after the table spot, it's actually quite an important bit of blown over. After the table spot, Evil went to Concerto Naito and put one chair over his knee whilst he was down, still in the rubble of the table. Evil got a steel chair, was about to bash him before Red Shoes grabs a piece of the table and is like, no, and it kind of protects himself and Naito. And that got a loud cheer and applause from the crowd. Another key point, because if you watch this match and you're not aware, if you watch this show really and you weren't aware, the crowd is allowed to clap, but they're discouraged from cheering, like for now, in this current climate. And but between every person there's at least one chair. Sometimes you have bigger gaps, but like for this event you can clap. That's why you got a lot of clapping. Oftentimes, like Ibushi played it wisely in that tag match. They're getting them to like properly clap with him in terms of that instead of cheering. No, like yesterday, I was like, try telling that to Kojima just before he's about to slap the crap out of somebody's chest. Try and get him not to shout. But anyway, so Evil is now, the referee's down to revert backwards. The referee was down, and Evil's got his chairs, and this time there was no one to stop him to do that concerto. 1-on-1, and Evil goes full on with the chair right over the head of Naito, who goes down, and Evil revels in it. With his former leader down, there was nothing really he could do anymore. But maybe he revelled in it a bit too much, like rather than going in for the kill, giving enough time for Naito to re-energize. Like against the likes of like Tanahashi, Ibushi, Naito, Okada, you cannot do that. And Naito got back into the match, fighting back, spinning off the turnbuckle with a Destino. Like, Evil just kicks out of 3. That was a really close near fall. And a deathly Gloria bomb with Naito then pumping up the crowd just to give him all of that energy. He's re-energized, but needs that a little bit more just to wind up, hit the Destino. But Evil was still enough in him, just elbowing his way out of Destinos and not letting Naito hit that kill move. But Evil's tricks are still strong as Naito is trying to wind up to hit the Destino. Evil was able to grab the referee's shirt and then kick Naito in the dick with a reverse kick, and they both kind of recover. Like Evil from Naito's offense, and now Naito's recovering from the dick stomp. When a very buff man in a Bushi mask comes out, which I've already talked about. He's got that wire and he chokes Naito with it on the ropes. And referee is, of course, still down with all this. Evil stomps Naito in the dick, just like he did Okada, picks him up. Everything is Evil STO. 1, 2, 3, and we've got a new double champion. The King of Darkness is the King of New Japan. Evil is your new double IWGP champion. And afterwards, he reveals his masked friend. It's Dick Flippin' Togo. Like, what? And the legendary wrestler is now by Evil's side. An amazing pairing, as I've already said. And weirdly for me, I'm more ecstatic about seeing that pairing than I am about, oh my god, a new champion. Maybe that's it. It's an interesting kind of difference where I'm generally interested in like the characters now and the dynamic between them as much as I am of completely new dynamic shift in terms of who's at the top. Like I've been saying for years that I've been predicting the Evil and Sanada rivalry kind of growing, and eventually Evil, because he calls himself the King of Darkness, And I was like, who calls themselves the king of something when in reality they're not consumed or controlled by it? Like someone who calls himself the king of gold. And with Evil, I've always wanted to see that arc. Like the man who calls himself the king of darkness but ends up becoming consumed by it. It's like, oh yes, I'd love to see that arc. Maybe we're seeing that now, a full turn to the dark side, and slowly they can then build up Sanada, and you've got that LIJ future. But for now, because interestingly, there was no actual Bushi. We got buff Bushi. There was buff Bushi, and there was then there was Hiromu, but there was no Sanada. There was no actual Bushi, and Shingo had his War with Sho, so I'll forgive that. Like he's in the back dead, having just survived Sho. I can forgive that. But yeah, no Sanada and no Bushi. So that's kind of interesting and kind of questionable. Maybe they'll elaborate on that kind of later. New Japan will they like to subtly elaborate on things. Like they'll show their inner struggle kind of in the ring or maybe in a backstage interview a little bit. They don't have them come out, cut a promo and explain all of their feelings so you can clearly follow it. That's not how it's done. So we'll see that play out over time. But personally, Evil versus Sanada would be my dream kind of end point, and it's LIJ taking over the main event over in the long time, or becoming main event guys, and let Naito recover for a bit. Like he's been wrestling at such a high level, at such a battered rate. Like if anything, the coronavirus has given him some time to recover, because like word was he clearly needed it, and so now maybe he can kind of go at a decent level. But still, after the match, we got the Dick Togo reveal. And Hiromu once again makes the saves as Togo and Evil was stomping on Naito. And he goes off on Evil afterwards, laying down the challenge, just like, apparently saying everything he believed in has just been torn away. And he's got, like, Evil's the one who's going to pay in the end. Evil walks away up the ramp as we cut to Hiromu in the ring, absolutely screaming, and just on his knees, just broken, in pure anger. And Evil's actions tonight, have snapped the man. Like Hiromu's gone. He is in a crazed state. And in terms of like elevation, like seeing Hiromu so clearly affected by this, and that will change him for the future as well. It's like, oh, I love it. It's personally because it's a type of thing that makes you fond for the former LIJ days, and that makes you hate Evil more. It's like, oh yes, just everything about this I absolutely loved. I've not even talked about Evil's presentation. It's like, because of course he's had a whole shift, and I brought Dick Togo and that pairing and the other Bullet Club members, but Evil himself, like I refer to him as Evil, just because it's like the heel version. And I loved like Twitter's reaction yesterday. It's like, it turns out the guy called Evil was a bad guy. How did none of us see us coming? It was like, I just thought it was like a gothy quirk. Like, no, he was a bad guy, it turns out. But his new presentation, he got a new theme, which I thought was badass. Just the Evil theme, I thought was fantastic. Especially when it's with the Evil droopy hair as well. The new like Master of the Universe, someone called it, kind of get up as well for the entrance gear. With the new like Evil piano, Evil guitar riffs, with the Bullet Club logo donned in the purple lights. Yes, everything about that was fantastic. I loved it. All the thumbs up in the world for Evil's presentation, which absolutely nailed the turn in a way. I really, really rated that. So I give a second for the chat to filter through, just because it's I'm on a little bit of a delay. But actually, there's enough I can go back. Right, so Massive Bushi. Yeah, do I call him Massive Bushi or Buff Bushi? I can't decide on that. I think that Hiromu has come IWGP Heavyweight chance. That I think so as well. Like, especially as he proves himself in the New Japan Cup. Like, he doesn't have to win, and you can easily use him as the guy that Evil batters, just to kind of elaborate on Evil a bit more. And that's a song title. But to kind of just elaborate on that, it makes all the sense in the world. Milano's heart was broken. Yes, if you saw yesterday, after when the show had ended, if you hadn't tuned out, Milano was on commentary, and like just before they went off air, he broke into pure tears. Shout out to Keeping It Strong Styles host Jeremy Donovan for sending me the picture of that. Just pure broken down. Just gone. He's purely broken down. That Irish whip completely broke him. New move, the Esperanza. That's an awesome name for it. Oh, I like shouting that. Esperanza! You can picture him doing it. As you say it, that's a perfect name for it. And I have a feeling that we might see Hiromu Takahashi will be the next double champion with a proper evil heel now becomes the main champion. That's... Yeah. Yes, I think I've already said yes. If somebody else has read that out, I do agree with that. I think it'd be kind of interesting to see that. And so, generally interesting. So, yeah. First time viewer from Malaysia. Say hello. Hail Faiz. That's all the way from Malaysia. That's I find it crazy whenever anybody's in from far away place tuning into me talking about wrestling currently to a window. I've always found that crazy. But yeah. So yes. Hello. Wonder how Milano will react today. Could be in deep sadness. He bloody could. He bloody well could. So anyway, that's chat for that. I feel like I should go in reverse order for the 3 big matches. So I'll do the tag match next and then get to the never openweight match. And then after that, I'll kind of go through the tags quickly. A bit of a disclaimer, I slept through my alarm. So I do value the tags. I'm not somebody who is like, oh god, the tag for these matches are for nothing. Because they do. They kind of like build character and establish things. And I mostly enjoy them. I'm a massive Toyo Yano fan. I love that guy. So I will always tune into those tags. But I slept through my alarm. It was an early start for us Brits. And I completely messed it up. So I've missed a lot of the tags. But I can talk about these matches anyway. So, the IWGP Tag Team Championships. Kota Ibushi and Hiroshi Tanahashi, the most handsome men in New Japan Pro Wrestling, defending against Dangerous Tekkers, Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. I love how Tekkers has become a term in New Japan. As I don't know how aware like people outside of the UK are of the term Tekkers. It's like unbelievable skill. It's come from football. But anyway, so that's it. Yeah, I'll go through my notes. I was going to elaborate a bit more, and then I thought, really actually go through the match paints enough of it, because it was a long match, clocking in at around half an hour. Like, I wasn't expecting that. And the way they used that was to convince you that Ibushi and Tanahashi had a game plan. They were going in with something. And actually, you know what? Just to elaborate a little bit more, just to help with the viewers, if I can bloody find the thing, I'll change it to... there we go. Let's put the picture on, just so visual wise I can like edit in kind of the different blocks. That'd be quite useful to do. So let's. As I noticed, there's a piece of my hair sticking out. Oh, it's weird. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Oh, super fluffy to. Anyway, tangents. Let's not go on tangents. So the champions didn't give our Cheeky Suzuki Gun lads the chance to brawl to ringside as normal. As I said, going in with a plan, they established the fact that, it really feels like Ibushi and Tanahashi are going to win just because they've gone after Dangerous Tekkers before they can do anything, before they can get on them too much. They've played them at their own game, attacking them before the bell. They're controlling the early match, and they just, when one of them tagged in, it was just a pure injection of energy. So it's like, well, how are Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. going to get over this? But when you've got half an hour, you can then establish both guys and then kind of interchange the flow of either of them. I thought it was fantastically paced, really. And but they didn't give Suzuki Gun lads a chance to brawl, as they normally do. The trait has been caught up on. Instead, Tano and Ibushi controlled the flow from the get-go, seemingly out there with synergy and a plan. A really good way to just convince you that the faces are going to win. Zack Sabre Jr. was having to fight back into the match with his wrestling rather than dirty tricks. Again, not the Suzuki Gun way to do something like that. I mean, there were dirty tricks happening in the background whilst he did it, and dirty tricks immediately after, but I swear he used pure wrestling ability by catching an Ibushi kick and twisting into a hold. Like, I swear, it happened. He had to actually do good wrestling to swing it over. Ibushi and Tana had their own amazing ability to just inject a whole lot of energy and momentum by simply tagging in, as I just said, running riot like a house on fire as soon as they tagged in. Like in those first 15 minutes, whenever one of them managed to escape Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr., they just get the tag, and whoever jumped in just ran riot, taking both lads down. It was like a complete swing of momentum, which it kept the match alive whenever that happened. And it required the Suzuki Gun dirty tricks from Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. together to get control back. So they're forcing them to work as a team, get a little bit more. And I just froze for a second and think I'm fine. Yeah, but like it was an awesome kind of back and forth pattern. They grounded Tanahashi after purely gaining control for a lengthy amount of time, draining his energy before the next tag and pace of injection, just grounding him down. There was an awesome shot with Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi when they both had Ibushi and Tanahashi in submissions, and they were kind of being taken out of that. I thought that looked amazing. Do say if there's any issues. I'm seeing myself freeze. That could just be my playback. Hopefully not. Just check my CPU's fine before going properly on. Where's my percentages? I'm fine. I'm only at 50. I'm hardly anything. It should be fine. Anyway, so that was awesome. Yeah, the awesome shot of just both of them locking in submissions. With the faces breaking free, then taking them both down. It was the kind of like lift them up and slam them down kind of thing. And whatever you call that, up down slam. They've got a better name for that. But yeah, that's how they got them both down onto the mat. And I'm still thinking about that awesome shot. Somebody, I think Lariato, I think he posted it. Somebody did on my timeline. Yeah, it looked awesome. But after that, it's like bloody find my place again. With the faces, they then broke free, hit those two tag moves. Hit those two tag moves. Then they were both down, and the Golden Star ran via until both Suzuki lads were on him. I think he was going to punt kick, I think, Taichi, or hit the knee, and then Zack Sabre Jr. jumped onto his back and started choking him. So again, just having to use the dirty tricks, working together to get over just one of them. Which, again, we're at that point where the momentum started to swing a bit more wildly, and still it's taking two to take down one. Which is I really like that dynamic. But after that, I'm going to scroll down because I keep losing my bloody place. So Ibushi survives, and oh damn, off comes Taichi's pants. It's about to go down, but he gets immediately high kicked. Immediate high kick from Ibushi, and a tag to Tana, pace injection. So as soon as Ibushi tries to just survive the two of them, and he does, Taichi goes serious, and then nope, let's put some energy into this match. Not even continuous slaps from Zack Sabre Jr. could keep Tanahashi down. Like, just go ace, and he's able to hit the high fly flow to a standing Zack Sabre Jr. As soon as he gets up, though, high kick from Taichi, who kind of like a celebration, and he immediately gets a high knee from Ibushi, who does the same thing, and gets the Sabre driver to Ibushi, and now everybody's down to the applause of the crowd. And yes, the crowd appreciated that little sequence. In its final minutes, the match was constantly swinging wildly, both teams causing damage before just surviving and turning momentum back in their favour. Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. went crazy on Tana's legs, with Ibushi down on the outside. There was Taichi holding him up in a full Nelson kind of hold, and Zack Sabre Jr. hitting dragon screw after dragon screw after dragon screw on both legs, just changing over, whipping the other one round, getting back up, and then rotating back. Like, Ibushi down the entire time. The two ran riot and worked together to dismantle Tanahashi. And in the end, hitting a Zack... I can't remember if Ibushi came back up. I might have missed it because, again, powering through notes. There was a Zack... I can't really speak. Zack driver super kick combo. And after almost half an hour, we have our new IWGP Tag Team Champions, Dangerous Tekkers, walk away with the gold. And now I'm looking at it. Maybe that was a precursor of another title change to happen. Not a good day for the baby faces of New Japan. Completely just losing their titles. Unless you're Shingo, because you're a badass. You can't use your titles if you're Shingo. Still, that was an amazing match. Well, I say amazing. It caught me off guard because I was expecting a fine match, which kind of like a nice little kind of breather in between your never openweight match and your main event match. But no, it established, it built, it flowed really well. And then that ending sequence where everything came together. I generally enjoyed it. It was great. Again, do holler if I'm freezing because I'm seeing myself freeze a lot. It could just be that because I'm using my internet to stream that my live feed is freezing. Anyway. generally, yeah, caught me off guard with how much I enjoyed that one. Yes, it was long, and if you're not a fan of the New Japan tag style, maybe it's not going to be 100% for you. But for me, I really enjoyed how it built, and then at the end how it all came together. And then you got your Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr.'s kind of working together and growing into the match after you've established, oh, of course the faces are going to win because they've got a tactic. Nah, not in New Japan. Everybody's great in New Japan. So, yeah. Anyway, so let's see if there's anything in the chat that I can properly talk about. What are they going to do with the Never Open Man 6-man titles since Evil has turned? Either vacate them or have a super awkward situation, or Sanada and Bushi also turn Evil because they didn't come out. Maybe that's the thing being hidden. Like, personally, no, wouldn't do that. And maybe, because I don't know if in the past they've just been allowed to tag with somebody else, because it's a 6-man never tag. Who really cares? That's the title where I think a couple of Wrestle Kingdoms back they had the LHJ. I can't speak. They had Evil, Sanada, and Bushi win the 6-man titles, and after they won the 6-man titles, they I can't believe speak. What did they do? Oh, that was it. I was trying to remember what happened. It was New Day's Dash, like the night after Wrestle Kingdom. You're thinking, oh god, this is LIJ. They've won the 6-man titles. They'll get a nice run with them. They've established themselves, and they immediately dropped the titles. It's like, oh yeah, just for a second they got me because it was LIJ because they're super popular. Oh, that's understatement. They're incredibly popular in Japan. I thought they'd get an awesome run with the titles, and then realised, oh wait, no, it's a never 6-man titles. Who cares? Like the night afterwards, like flipping Taguchi's walking out with them. Like, it's fine. It's a never 6-man. So, I don't know. It creates an awkward dynamic that I'm interested to see happen, but I don't really know. So, yeah. I think that 6-man tag should be sealed. Or do you mean like locked away in a vault, just gone? Just get rid of it. I guess. Anyway, I think I should move on to the Never Openweight match. Before I do, I'm going to get a drink of water and also use this to mask the fact that I'm changing the image. Just a second. I went the wrong bloody way. Anyway, here we go. Never Openweight Championship. This is, yes, I was ready for this. Like, I tweeted out, I've not plugged my Twitter, at the damn implicat, that's damn as in damn. I plugged that. Sorry. When this match was about to go live, I was just like, in my veins. Yes. In my veins. Put it in there. Yes. I love these matches. Like, big boys. Big lads doing big lad wrestling. The exact style that's turned the Never division into a proving grounds of sorts. Like, if you can survive there, you can survive with like anybody in New Japan. You've proved yourself. Like, if you can survive there, you can take it at the next level. So, yes. And yes, technically Evil is Evil 3 belts. Right, take that, Bailey. Evil 3 belts right now. He's got all the gold. Oh, and with that championship win, he's now a Triple Crown champion, having won the Never Championship in IWGP Intercontinental and Heavyweight. That's even if they weren't a double championship right now, he's already won them. And he's won the tag belts as well. Actually, and the 6-man, he's won everything. Apart from the junior, that's fine. Yeah, he's won all the heavyweight singles championships. He's not even a Triple Crown, he's a full 5. He's got all of them. Even the Never 6-man. So yes, he's currently got 6 belts. Maybe we'll get a little thing on a like Road to show where they address the Never 6-man, because I feel like it's in the background of importance. Anyway, speaking of... That's not speaking of at all. I just want to go back to Sho Shingo. So, Sho and Shingo delivered that big boy match. We'll say, in terms of the, I guess, current dynamic of the Never Openweight Championship, I really like how they're incorporating a few... How do I say it? They're incorporating a few juniors into the Never Openweight division, but they're sticking with that big boy style. It's like, yeah, you are juniors, you can incorporate... I am dropping frames, apparently. It's got with a little warning. Again, hollow if it's too bad. But I was... Yeah, so I'm really enjoying how they're bringing juniors in, but they are still wrestling that style. It's like, yes, you can wrestle as a junior in the Never Openweight division. It is openweight, that's the entire point. But on the flip side of that, you are still going to have to wrestle that big boy style. You're going to have to take the lariats, you're going to have to deliver the lariats, you're going to have to survive. Just that. Like with this match here, we'll just give a shout out to Show's theme. I still love that theme. And Shingo Takagi's just an absolute badass with the dragon attire as well. And just going, I love Shingo. As soon as he arrives, like main event, love him. But with this match was immediately with the test of strength, like charging into each other like bulls. Like that is essentially the rhythm for these never matches, constantly charging into each other. But the kind of move elevates, the kind of move they're delivering elevates from power bombs to near fall suplexes, and yeah, I love that style. That's what I'm talking about, where juniors are coming in with Show, and then we've got El Desperado coming in afterwards, but they're still doing that kind of match. They're charging at each other like bulls and just clashing in the middle. And I generally really enjoy that style. So seeing that happen with lighter lads, because then the big lads can send them flying as well, so they look even more badasses. And you can use that to build them up to another big lad match, like Shingo Ishii or something, with Rich Latta Pro Wrestling, to give a shout out to him. Like maybe in the aftershocks of Evil's betrayal, but Shingo was surprisingly not the one controlling the match. Like at times, Show literally had the champion up against the ropes. I think there was one time where he was like hitting like forearm after forearm or lariat after lariat, and Shingo was just up against the ropes. And then he was the one charging, and like it was like hitting big move after big move, with the dragon being the one having to adapt and fight back and overcome, which is not what we're used to, really. Like Show fighting off the Made in Japan so strongly that Takagi had to convert the spin into a double knees, or the rotation, I guess, into a double knees. But before then being able to have another go at hitting the Made in Japan. Just that dynamic of Show was controlling the match so much that Shingo was the one having to adapt. And we've not really seen him in that position, because he's been so controlling, he's been so in charge, that kind of caught me by surprise, just seeing that. Yeah, but anyway, so Show was fighting that off, and like even the pumping bomber, he nailed the pumping bomber. The LJ man absolutely nailed it, but Show kicked out at one, just the power out, which is the other never spot you see quite often, where somebody hits an absolute like a mega move and then just like, nope, one, I'm dropping a lot of frames. So apparently the quality might go down a bit. So yeah, we can sort it out a bit later. Anyway, so it keeps kicking out. The kicking out at one was just the big amping up type of thing. Like the strike, and then he goes for another one, like a strike, and then Show reverses it into an armbar, completely amped up and ready to go. And that was transitioned into a pile driver. Shingo only just surviving. And after Show had controlled so much of the match, and then Shingo had kind of come back into it, but Show was powering out, completely energized. And then Show gets back in control. I was like, oh crap, it's going to happen. Like, Show's just got this one, and Shingo, they might be playing him as distracted by everything that's happening with Evil. And with the Roppongi man becoming more and more amped up, he was starting to increasingly focus on that lariat delivering arm, just kicking at it, wrenching it back or whatever. Shingo was able to power out of one of the submissions into a Death Valley driver that did nothing to slow Show down. He just stood straight back up, screaming again. The Chaos Man was so incredibly powered up. After he popped up straight back onto his feet, he was met with a stiff strike. Just the dragon was finally then able to lift Show up and power him down hard with the Made in Japan. Shingo retains, but only just. He more survived that match than dominated it, as you're kind of used to. Show had his number, we already saw in the New Japan Cup. Like, Shingo wasn't at his best and had to show real fight to stay champion there. So, yeah, again, awesome never match. Shingo and Show are building an incredible kind of just back catalogue of matches. There's 3 now. There's it's a trilogy of amazing matches that I'm sure is going to build. We're going to get more of these. This is just over the course of 1 year. We've got these 3 matches. So, yes, again, look out for that. And, of course, with the New Japan pacing, where, yes, they're facing each other, but it's 3 matches over 1 year that you pace it out. You make me want to see the next one. As I said, after the match, El Desperado attacked Shingo on the ramp, and there's your reward for stepping up against Ishii with that banger of a match on the first night of the New Japan Cup. Just in case you weren't aware of that, El Desperado had a fantastic match against Ishii, and I feel like, just elevate another junior into that kind of position, And he's a veteran guy for Ishii to just destroy. So I am fine with that. Anyway, Evil cleaned up this weekend. Yes, he bloody did. Let's get through those other chats. And my God, my throat is dry. I've gone on for 40 minutes. It's the tag matches up next. So I'll change the picture again. I'll just turn it off so it's flipping... What's his face? There we go. Evil. Everything is... It's great audio content as well because this gets uploaded as a podcast on... on RedCircle for the Laws of Pain thing on there. It links in the description if you want to go over. And if you want to, you can donate to... You can donate to Laws of Pain Radio on RedCircle. I just want to keep us going with whatever. I don't really know what the highest thing is, even a quid. Or whatever your equivalent is. If you don't want to, that's fine. It's just engagement. I'm just happy to be doing this. Anyway, so I'm going to quickly go through the tag team matches in order this time. So yeah, I've gone backwards and now I'm going down in order. Just want to confuse you all. So kicking off, Satoshi Kojima, Yuji Nagata and Vaisuke Taguchi defeated Togi Makabe, Tomoaki Honma and Gabriel Kidd. Gabriel Kidd is from the same town as me, so I've got to cheer him along the way. Like, it's law. I've got to be with him. And again, it's still awesome seeing him in New Japan, and like this is now the first time watching him in like a big arena in a Sakajo Hall, and yeah, just awesome seeing how far he's going, and like he looks great as well. It's just I'm not saying that because he's from the same town as me. He's not from the same city, but yeah, like genuinely, it's great to see how well he's doing in New Japan, and yeah, may it prosper. So shout out to Gabriel Kidd. Second match of the night. Sanada, Hiromu Takahashi and Bushi defeated Tomohiro Ishii, Toru Yano and Yota Tsuji, and yeah, the LIJ lads just got a little bit of a sprinkle of them seeing them at Hiromu on the stage, just clearly just thinking about things, kind of lost in his thoughts, and then we got the match itself, and Sanada kind of did his normal things, but they all kind of looked like not quite in it, but of course Yota Tsuji's there, so Hiromu ends up getting the win. Like, they're both motivated and distracted at the same time, but because they're LIJ, they've got that synergy, so it kind of works. And Yano Ishii, Yano does his cheeky stuff, Ishii does his badass stuff, and Yota Tsuji's there to take the pin. Poor young lion. Oh, they never win, those poor young lions. El Desperado, Kanemaru and Doki of Suzuki Gun defeated Tenzan, Master Wato and Yuya Yamura. Yamura, bloody hell. I swear he's more and more jacked every time I see him, getting in absolutely incredible shape. And El Desperado, Kanemaru and Doki, I'm assuming they got the win because that then leads on to what happened later. So with them winning the tag team belts and with El Desperado challenging Shingo, like they're getting their moment next. This often happens in New Japan where after like a big tournament or big show, in the in-between bits, Suzuki Gun will get their run. They'll get the momentum. They might win championships. Taichi's bloody done it before. And like by the time you back up Wrestle Kingdom, they're either like further down or don't have those championships. But yes, they get their reigns. They steal the middle of the year. But Master Wato as well, if I want to just talk about the Blue Man for a second, I know it's massively steeped in a lot of like Japanese lore in a way, so there's a lot that I won't understand. Obviously, the reaction from everybody on the Western side was, he's very blue. So lots of blue from Master Wato. And the fact that he got jobbed out to Doki, the phrase we used over here was geeked out by a geek. Like jobbed out by a jobber. And like the lowest card guy has destroyed you. Where's your credibility now? You're going to have to build up from the bottom. And like he looked really impressive against Doki. And I totally get that Doki vessels that kind of semi-Japanese luchador style, which is absolutely perfect for Kawato, who is kind of shifting from Mexico back into the Japanese world. And Doki's like the perfect transition kind of opponent. It's just a shame that he's so far down the card that getting beaten up by him just destroys your credibility. But when he vessels, yes, like as soon as Wato was having his match and hitting all the moves, hitting all the dives, the spinal tap spin, or what I think he called it something else, and either PRP or RPP or PRP. I think it was RPP. I think it's what he called it. But when he hit all his moves, it was just that reminder of why we all fell in love with him as a young lion. Like when he went to Mexico, it was just when he returns, he's going to be a big deal just because of how fantastic he is in the ring, and he showed that against Doki. which was, again, great to see. And just that reminder, and again here, like you just got that reminder of he is a very good wrestler, even if the gimmick might take a little bit to click. Because like again on Twitter, there's a lot of the comparisons to Kazuchika Okada, who had a pretty naff debut and then a kind of laughable end of the night with him being put in a mega position, and then a month later he's this incredible, just the crowd going, oh my god, he's amazing. I don't know if we'll get that with Watto. It feels like with Doki breaking him down and his credibility kind of gone and him having to build up from scratch, I feel like it's going to take a while. They're going to take the longer road with Watto. And maybe with the COVID kind of stopping travel, there's a chance that Watto is going to just take that a little bit longer to... I know he might get more chances than he would have normally, and they could take that longer road. So yeah, it might take a bit longer to get to that point, but he's got a lot more kind of chances because of COVID shrinking the roster, so the kind of homegrown Japanese talent are getting a lot more of the spotlight than they would normally. So yeah, Tommaso Watto, he's very blue. The gimmick is a little bit... going to take a while to gel maybe, but he as a wrestler is fantastic. And he will get over just because of how amazing a wrestler he is. And he's still young and developing, which is great to see. I am flipping starving, so let's wrap this up. And finally, the final tag before we went into the 3 main event matches. Yujiro Takahashi and Taiji Ishimori defeated Kazuchika Okada and Hiroki Goto, with Okada pissed, distracted, again easily taken down with the Bullet Club antics. And then Goto's the one who's, well, if Okada's off it, then I'm going to have to fight them. But of course, you can't fight off Bullet Club by yourself, and that's just kind of how it ended up. It was weird seeing Okada in that role, but for me, it kind of made sense of what happened the night previously, where he's both shook and angry. It's like a Gedo again. Like somebody joked on Twitter that with Gedo not having Jay White to focus on, with building, not having Kenta to focus on building, and him not having like anyone to focus on destroying either, like he's gone straight for Okada again. Like he can't focus on the other thing, so he goes back to his natural state, which is Okada. Just that. And so this match was just the antics, and down goes Okada. So I don't know if Gedo will take it I don't know if Okada will see it as another personal attack by Gedo, or like maybe Gedo jumps at the opportunity, but it feels like with the whole like bringing in of Evil, it was more like focusing on that really, of bringing in Evil. And I'm excited really for how the dynamic shifts with that. And yeah, so this was a very heel heavy show, getting a lot of them over. Shingo really the only kind of big win for the good guys. Again, Sanada, Himu and Bushi got their moment, and the others kind of went with it. I'm interested to see how my audio is going to be at the end, given how much I've been stopping, and the warnings are all over my screen. Trying to concentrate, pop-up after pop-up. Still, it was a very heel-heavy show, a very entertaining show that I generally enjoyed. There's just this buzz around the place. Like, on Western wrestling Twitter, at the date after a New Japan show, you get a lot of pushback from people who don't watch the event, and it's kind of like, oh, here come the nerds going on about New Japan again. But after every show, because like we just enjoy it so much, there's just this buzz around the place. And like whenever I've like had anybody on to talk about this with me, you can't wait to talk about New Japan, just because you get so excited for it. It amps you up. You just have this buzz, this energy. And this show is no different. And we're moving on with Evil and everything that happened in the end there, from Dick Togo to Evil as your new champion, to Hiromu having a breakdown, and LIJ just being in total disarray right now. Afterwards, Evil as well, saying that Naito is done and he'll happily destroy Hiromu, no problem. Like, he's very confident, which he should be. The dynamic in New Japan has completely shifted. And of course, it's a really clever way to inject energy when they can't have so many of the wrestlers. As I said, there's no Jay White. They've lost Jay White. They've lost another long-term project in Will Ospreay. I say lost. It's temporarily unavailable, and we don't know how long this temporary situation will last. So they've been gone quite a while. Yeah, but they're building it well. They've built interest for me. And like one thing I didn't really mention in a way was like seeing the crowd. It's amazing to see a crowd again. Like, you probably got it yesterday with the New Japan Cup final, but it continued here with Dominion. Like, genuinely, it's awesome to see. So, yeah. Anyway, that is going to do it. 50 minutes banged on for. I'm not going to go on much longer than that. So, thank you for everybody who's sent in messages and things and whatnot. Thank you for everybody who's tuned into this and just watching New Japan. Just I like to encourage people to keep going. The G1 Climax is right round the corner, and we've got that to look forward to as well. Yes, I will be live after the final. Also, if you go to lawsofpain.net, myself, fellow columnist Sir Sam, and Jeremy Donovan of the Keeping It Strong Style podcast, we've been doing review columns of the entire New Japan Cup, and our final one was a preview for the final and us picking our favourite matches and wrestlers from the entire tournament. So that is already up on lawsofpain.net, as is with the other ones, and every year as well, myself and Sir Sam will, if you want Jeremy Donovan back, give us a holler. But myself and Sir Sam, we've been covering the G1 Climax tournament each year. Well, I say each year. We did it last year. The year prior, I went mental, and I posted a write-up thing for every single show within hours of it finishing. And then last year, I was myself, Sir Sam was just commented one each week as a roundup-y thing. It's that is so much better, and I'll have my summer back. I'll be able to go outside. It'll be nice. Anyway, so I'll be back for the G1 Climax in both written form every week, and then I'll be in audio form for the final. When, I think, did that get brought forward to August, or is it still in September? Because I can't remember with the Olympics. So hopefully I've not been too choppy. I'll be finding out when I'm converting the audio version of this. So we'll wait and see. Anyway, maybe it's because it's a Sunday during the day and streaming. My internet's not amazing, and the people. Maybe I've not got enough internet speed to stream in HD during the middle of the day. Maybe that's a lesson. Anyway, thank you for watching, for listening, for whatever. I will be back. When will I be back? I'll be back Tuesday. So I've got the Raw review. Back to America. I'll be live Tuesday night. It's midnight over here in the UK, and that'll be middle of the morning for the Australian Japanese time, and then in America that is 7 p.m. So I'll be live at midnight with the Raw review, and then be back on Thursday as well with the NXT review. We've also got a Dynamite After Dark show for AEW Dynamite, which also goes live immediately after the show. They're American, they can do that. I'm not bloody going live immediately after Raw. Shout out to Gary Cassidy, who whenever I see him going live around Raw time, I'm just and tweeting during the show. It's oh, you are a stronger man than me, being able to do that. Anyway, enough shout outs or whatever. Yes. Also, next week we'll have an Extreme Rules preview as well. So that'll be going up hopefully Friday or Saturday, depending on my freedom to get it edited and up. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Follow Wrestling Headlines at Lords of Pain, I think it's the handle. Follow me on Twitter at the Damn Implicat. Subscribe to us on the YouTube thing. Can you subscribe on RedCircle? Can't remember. Yeah, follow the podcast. It's on iTunes as well. If you want a 5-star us, there's all of that stuff to blog through. The comment, whatever. I'm still new to the YouTube game. I've only been doing the live video thing for a couple weeks, so I'm still getting used to it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion. Hit me up if you've got any more comments or anything to say. With that, I say thank you for watching. I bid you adieu. Adios.